Welcome to The Explainer. Now, to kick things off today, I want you to do something with me. Just take a second and think about the last time you were walking down the street. Maybe you were completely lost in your own thoughts, just going about your day, and suddenly, a complete stranger, or maybe a coworker passing by, or an old friend, just gave you a genuine, warm smile. You know the exact kind I mean, right? The kind that just completely brightens up their entire face. I want you to literally hold that specific memory in your mind for just a second.
So, in that exact split second, when their smile met your eyes, did you feel your own face kind of instinctively start to mimic theirs? Did you feel the corners of your mouth tug upwards before you even really made a conscious decision to smile back? And honestly, more importantly, did your mood shift? Even just a tiny, microscopic bit? Did a heavy thought you were carrying suddenly feel, just a little bit lighter? Well, if it did, you weren't just experiencing some fleeting emotional reaction. You were actually experiencing a really profound biological response.
Because today in this explainer, we're moving way beyond just the abstract feel-good concept of being positive. We're looking directly at the biological hardware that we all carry around with us every single day. We're talking about what might absolutely be the most underrated superpower in human history, the smile. We're going to explore how a smile isn't just a byproduct of happiness. It's an actual, tangible piece of physiological machinery. It is built-in hardware that you can actively use to hack your own brain and literally instantly lift the spirits of everyone around you.
Section 1. Hacking your happy chemicals, the internal mechanism.
Okay, let's dive into this. To really understand why this works, we have to strip away the poetry of a smile for a minute and look at the raw physiological mechanics behind it. We need to look at how the muscles in your face communicate directly with the chemical factories in your brain. So there's this deeply fascinating concept in psychology, and it's called the facial feedback hypothesis. Now, most of us operate under a very standard assumption about how emotions work. We assume that the brain feels an emotion first, and then, it sends a signal down to the face to react. Basically, you feel happy, so as a result, you smile. It's a one-way street, right? Actually, scratch that. The science shows us that this neurological highway works in both directions. When the specific muscles in your face move into the physical shape of a smile, they immediately send a signal straight back up to your brain's emotional center. This signal explicitly tells your brain, hey, the facial muscles are smiling right now, so we must be happy. You are completely reversing the usual cause and effect loop.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is exactly what happens the very millisecond your brain receives that signal from your facial muscles. Because it genuinely believes you are happy, your brain instantly goes to work releasing a highly potent cocktail of feel-good neurotransmitters. Let's break down this chemical payload because it's pretty incredible. First, you get a rush of endorphins. These act as your body's natural pain relievers and stress reducers. Then, you get serotonin, which is an incredibly powerful chemical that essentially acts as a natural antidepressant and an emotional mood stabilizer. And finally, dopamine drops into your system, providing you with a surge of motivation and a really profound sense of reward and accomplishment. Essentially, by simply changing the physical arrangement of your face, you can actively trick your biology into a significantly better mood.
Section 2. The Science of Real Smiles. Quality Control.
But here is where we need to introduce some strict quality control into our explainer. Because as it turns out, neurologically speaking at least, not all smiles are created equal. The specific, tiny nuances of your facial expressions matter deeply to your brain. Researchers have clearly distinguished between two main types of smiles. On one side, we have what's called a non-Duchenne smile. Think of this as your polite, standard, say cheese for the camera smile, or the one you give a stranger in an elevator. It only really uses the muscles around your mouth. It's polite, sure, but it's physically limited. On the flip side, we have the Duchenne smile. Now this is the authentic, real smile. A Duchenne smile doesn't just pull at your lips, it travels all the way up your face and literally reaches your eyes. It involves both the muscles around the mouth and those distinct muscles that crinkle the corners of your eyes. When you engage those eye muscles, it signals to your brain that you truly, genuinely mean it. And when you smile with your whole face like this, the science shows that the chemical benefits, those amazing rushes of dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins we just talked about, are effectively doubled. Doubled. Just from crinkling your eyes?
Section 3. Mirror neurons and contagious joy, your area of effect.
So let's see how this builds from just a personal, internal benefit into a real tool for helping others. This is where your biological superpower develops what you might call an area of effect, directly altering the biology of the people standing right in front of you. See, human beings are incredibly social creatures, and we are equipped with something deeply profound called mirror neurons. These are highly specialized brain cells. When we see someone perform an action, like, say, smiling, our mirror neurons fire off, causing our own brain to mentally rehearse and instinctively want to mimic that exact same action. So the crucial point is this. Smiles are literally biologically contagious. When you flash a genuine Duchenne smile at a stranger, or maybe a really stressed out friend, you aren't just being socially nice. You are literally hacking their mirror neurons. You are initiating a chemical reaction inside their brain. By the simple physical act of smiling, you are forcing their brain to release its own dopamine and serotonin. You are physically giving them a moment of biological relief, entirely free of charge, without ever having to say a single word. That is wild to think about.
Section 4. The First Strike Challenge, your daily user manual.
So, knowing all of this incredible science, how do we actually use it? Well, in most of our daily social interactions, we tend to play defense, don't we? We wait for someone else to make eye contact, we wait for them to acknowledge us, and then we react. Today, I want to invite you to take active conscious control of this superpower. I want you to be the initiator. So here are 3 actionable steps to put this into practice immediately. Step 1 is the stranger test. As you go about your day, whether you're pushing a cart at the grocery store, walking down the street, passing someone in the hallway, make a conscious effort to be the first one to offer a warm, eye-crinkling Duchenne smile to a stranger. And listen, don't worry for a second if they don't smile back. Remember the science we just went over. Even if their face doesn't move, you've already successfully sent the signal to their mirror neurons. You've already helped them. Step 2 is the mirror reset. If you ever find yourself feeling overwhelmed or just trapped in a negative thought loop, physically walk over to a mirror. Look yourself directly in the eyes and force a big, genuine Duchenne smile for 10 full seconds. Yes, it will feel completely silly at first, no way around that, but pay close attention to how your internal weather actually starts to shift and clear up as those chemicals kick into your bloodstream. Finally, step 3, the smile check-in. Simply bring some awareness to your resting face throughout the day. Are you unintentionally scowling? Is your jaw tight? Consciously soften your jaw, relax your brow, and just let the corners of your mouth lift a tiny, subtle bit. Just keep the engine idling warm.
Now, I know there are definitely going to be some skeptics out there thinking, isn't this just a bunch of toxic positivity? Isn't this just that whole fake it till you make it thing? And this brilliantly illustrates exactly why we have to view this through the lens of biology. Don't think of it as faking an emotion. Think of it as mechanical activation. You wouldn't say a light bulb is faking it when you flip the switch on the wall, right? You are simply engaging the physical mechanics that allow the light to turn on. Smiling is the switch. Even if you don't feel 100% perfectly happy inside, activating those facial muscles begins the physiological process of recovery. It is a biological gesture of hope that you are actively extending to your own nervous system and to the entire world around you.
A smile is truly the shortest distance between two people. It costs absolutely nothing to give, yet its biological and emotional value to the person receiving it can be entirely immeasurable. You honestly never know who is quietly having the absolute hardest day of their life, and your simple first strike smile might literally be the one and only moment of genuine warmth and relief they experience today. By choosing to smile, you take control of your own biology, and you become a conscious, active contributor to the collective mood of your community. You possess the literal power to change the chemical energy of a room just by walking into it with an open, positive expression. So I'm going to leave you with this question to carry with you today. Who needs your first strike smile right now? Go out there, use your superpower, and I'll see you in the next explainer.